Hey friends, good evening. It's your old pal SVH here, coming at you with the Daily Nugget, trying to block out the light there in the background. And yeah, it's been a crazy, crazy week, and just trying to get some time to sit down here and do a little Daily Nugget. So yeah, I had a few minutes here. Figured I'd do a quick live stream version so I can get it straight to you and go right at it. So yeah, I got some good hair going on today too. All right. So yeah, today's daily nugget is going to come to us from the Bowl of Sake by Hazrat and Nugget Khan. And again, these are dated every day of the year. So I got one here for April 6th, and we might go back a couple days and do a couple more just because it's been a few days since we've done a nugget. So I might drop a couple nuggets on you here, give you a little six pack or something. Um, but yeah, so the daily nugget from Hazrat Nugget Khan's Bowl of Sake for April 6th is: as one can see when the eyes are open, so one can understand when the heart is open. As one can see when the eyes are open, so one can understand when the heart is open. So I love this because you know, we only think about our senses in the sense of, seeing with our eyes, hearing with our ears, tasting with our mouth, feeling with our touch. But what if we experience all of those same senses, but through the heart? There's because the heart is actually the feeling capacity of our being, right? So the love, compassion, mercy, joy, even hurt, pain, suffering, all is felt and experienced in the heart, right? So um, the opening of the heart really brings an understanding, because through that experience that you feel in the heart, it brings about a whole new um, understanding of what it is that you're walking through and you're facing at that time. So as one can see with when the eyes are open, so your eyes are open, you can see. I can see I'm staring at a light here, um, and it's the opening of those eyes that causes you to be able to see, right? It's the same with the opening of the heart. If your heart's closed off, then you're not going to feel love and you're not going to experience love. If your heart's closed off, you're not going to process pain the right way. When pain comes through the heart, you're not going to process it the right way, and it's going to harden that heart, and it's going to cause a stiffness that is going to be harder to overcome. So it's just this idea of really opening the heart and what level of understanding comes through from that opening of the heart. And I think that's really important. This talks here, it says the word understand. And I think, a lot of people are, I don't know how to say this. Um, I like the idea of not using words like understand. Understand is standing under something. It's beneath something or lower than something, or you're yeah, you're standing underneath when you say understand, when you really look at words. So I don't look at words like this too closely all the time, but when you really, sometimes you have to look at what words are and what they say. And I like the word overstand. I think that's great because you stand over um, this knowledge that you've acquired under your feet. I kind of like that, the word overstand, but that's just my own personal take. Um, so yeah, as one can see when the eyes are open, so one can understand when the heart is open. So yeah, it's all about opening the heart and really having that fuller experience of life and that fuller experience of um, the senses and the feelings and the sensations of being alive, and how they come through so much richer when they are experienced through an open heart. So yeah, there's not much more I can say about that one, for sure. Let me go back a day or so here, because I missed a couple days. Yeah, let me just do the last 3 days. We'll give you a four-piece nugget today. This was from April 3rd. Life is a misery for the man absorbed in himself. Could be very easily said the other way. Life is a misery for the woman absorbed in herself. So he or she, this can go either gender. Life is a misery for the one who is absorbed in their self. You can say it that way. Um, and think about that for a minute. When you're completely absorbed in yourself, usually when you are absorbed in yourself, unless you're a total narcissist, um, it's when you're going through an experience. It's when you're going through some sort of elated experience or some darker, deeper experience that's more painful. But when you're totally absorbed in yourself, you are feeling this misery because you're feeling the weight of all the things that you have on your life. If you're absorbed in yourself, you're absorbed in your worries, your concerns, your frustrations, all those types of things. And if you're absorbed in your passions or your desires or things like that too, then that can be another drive that takes you in another direction. And sometimes that's not always the most positive direction, even though you're going after what you want in life. So life is a misery for the man absorbed in himself. So being so absorbed in your own being, I guess the easiest way to do to really interpret this is, if you have a child, then you get so much more joy from seeing your child eat a piece of cake than you get out of eating that piece of cake yourself. The kid just loves it. Just, oh, the frosting, that it's like a whole experience for them. Whereas it's just like, I'm getting fat, I'm eating another piece of cake. It's it's a whole different experience when you can see and witness the joy of another or experience the joy of another. Then you step outside of yourself, and that joy, you experience that joy and you feel that joy because the magnetism and the energy of that joy rubs off on you because you've seen it and you've experienced it, and it warms your heart. It's that warming of the heart. But when you're totally absorbed in yourself, there's a misery, there's a coldness, because it's just you. It's just you and your pain. It's just you and your situation. It's just you and your experience. And sometimes you can be so absorbed in yourself that it is a misery. And it's just important to, again, be all that you can be for yourself, but be all that you can be in the world as well. And when you give to others and you live a life of service, that's when you tend to really see things change in your life. So uh, just a couple tidbits. I kind of went off on a tangent on that one a little bit. So let's do April 4th. To give sympathy is sovereignty. To desire it from others is captivity. To give sympathy is sovereignty. To desire it from others is captivity. So, sovereignty is freedom. And when you give sympathy, it really ties in with the last one. When you give that sense of sympathy, it's a freedom. It's a freedom because you're free from any constraint of sympathizing with that person or feeling any disdain or any other thing. And even if you don't agree with somebody, you don't like somebody's viewpoint, you really don't like their attitude or who they are or what they stand for, that's totally okay. But to give sympathy to that person gives you a certain sense of freedom because you don't have to be bothered by their brashness or their attitude or their coldness or their negativity or their viewpoint. You don't have to be changed by that at all. You can just simply feel that sympathy for them and let that sympathy rise you above the situation and gives you freedom to feel your own way and to experience your own feeling, and they have the freedom to experience their own feeling, and you rise above it and move through it. So to desire sympathy from another is captivity. So that's the flip side of it. So, if you're giving something with the aim of receiving something back, a lot of times you're just going to be met with disappointment because not everybody's going to see things from the give and take, and it's not the energy exchange for everybody that it is for some of us that are a little bit more open or a little more spiritual or have a an inkling towards, having sympathy towards others and compassion towards others. Not everybody's just wired that way. So it's a little tougher, and sometimes um, desiring that sympathy from other people can be a captivity, because you can expect it and you can want it, and it can be something that you really feel is deserving, and maybe it is well deserved for you. But if you don't get it, then it becomes a captivity, because it's something that you wish for, desire for, and want, that draws you away from other aspects of your life. So yeah, I think it's just important to always give sympathy, um, which creates freedom. And if you always, kind of approach any situation, any negative situation or positive situation that you come into in life, with just a heart of sympathy, it will give you the freedom to move through that, with much more ease. Yeah. So one more. This is your last of your 4-piece nugget today, for April 5th. God speaks to the ears of every heart, but it is not every heart who hears him. God speaks to the ears of every heart, but it is not every heart that hears him. So yeah, I mean, this is just the way it is. You have to tune yourself to the frequency of God, and the frequency of God is everywhere, really, because God is everywhere. God is everything. Everything has God within it, and everything is within God. It's the great paradox. But you know, not every heart is open to hearing and receiving the message of God. And the message of God can come in so many different ways. It can come in it can come in an actual presence or a feeling. It can come in an audible sensation, a mental note that pops in the mind. It could be a feeling, but it can be beyond that too. It could be experiencing, again, the joy of seeing that child eat a piece of cake. Can be that opening of the heart, that really helps you to hear and see life in a different way. I mentioned a couple times this week in a couple of videos that I did end up doing, about nature, and how nature is such a fine tuning, for me, and it just really tunes me up. And it's that being in tune with nature. When you're out there, you're moving, you get the heartbeat going, then you really focus on the breath, and you see how the breath and the heart aligns, and then the next thing you know, you're starting to really feel how the breath actually intertwines with the breeze, and then you start to feel how the heartbeat starting to, you kind of feel it in the soles of your feet as you're hitting the ground and you're walking, and all these different elements just open up to where now your heart and your body and your mind and your spirit are all in tune with nature and everything around it. So then you experience things differently. So it's this opening of the heart that really tunes you to your environment, that tunes you to what your experience is. And again, you can tune it down, or you can knock it out of tune to where it's a dissonant tone and it doesn't feel right and doesn't sound right and it's off-putting or jarring, or you can continually just fine tune it until it starts to sound right and starts to really feel natural and harmonious and balanced for you. And I think that's really the thing that this speaks to. God speaks to the ears of every heart, but it is not every heart that hears him. So there you have it, my friends. A 4-pack of nuggets for your day, a 4-piece daily nugget. Yeah, I hope that you enjoyed those couple of little nuggets of wisdom today, and that one or many of them speaks to you. Again, some of these kind of, because they're dated and they go in succession, sometimes 3 or 4 of them will have a very similar concept. So I felt okay kind of about reading these all together today, because they all kind of flow together in a similar thread of truth and wisdom. So yeah, I hope that was not too off-putting to hear different nuggets today, but hopefully it spoke to you and did something today. So again, I appreciate everybody tuning into these. It's very much appreciated, and I look forward to doing another daily nugget here, hopefully tomorrow. And yeah, I'm got some things in the works that hopefully over the next couple of weeks, some things will start to unfold. I'll start to do some more live shows and some other content and things like that. But yeah, just really grateful that everybody tunes in and checks these out. Appreciate all the comments and all the love. If you're on Facebook, I encourage you to go over to youtube.com/the SVH and give me a shout out over there, and give me a like and subscribe. That would be great. And if you're on YouTube, go over to Facebook and follow me over on there. And you never know what you might catch on either page. So I appreciate everybody checking it out. Got to give a shout out here to my brother Scott Runyon, my brother from another mother out in Arizona. How you doing, bro? Hope you're having a good night. And that's your daily nugget. I'll see you all tomorrow.